Heroes 2 is a strategy game with distinct factions and build guides, but today I'm going to be ignoring all of them. In my previous multiplayer tips video, I asked the community what are your biggest recommendations for new players or regular returning players when it comes to tackling multiplayer. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 tips the community have recommended and why they will help you in your upcoming multiplayer games. So without further ado, let's ignore my advice and head straight into these recommendations. The first recommendation I have is brought to you by Mateo, and his recommendation is to play with friends. Now, the main benefit of this is coordination. When searching for a game in multiplayer, solo queue, for a 3v3 or 4v4 game, you are not guaranteed to be able to coordinate with your teammates. Even if you can text chat so that everyone is willing to talk, voice communication is far quicker, easier, and more reliable than trying to type something out as you're also trying to maneuver units. Now, because it is a 3v3 or 4v4 game, coordination is amplified even that much more by ensuring certain bases and certain weaknesses are covered. See my previous multiplayer tips for those, but an example would be ensuring a direct strike is available, ensuring that reconnaissance is available. Things like this are covered when you're speaking with your friends and playing with them. So, if you're wondering how to make friends, I cannot offer you a detailed video of that. What I can say is, if you do happen to play just with randoms, and you find people that you enjoy playing with or you sync well with, message them, befriend them on Steam, and maybe group up with them. If that doesn't end up working out, I would highly recommend checking out SkippyFX, Greyshot Productions, Major Bones. There are plenty of Company of Heroes 2 Discords where players would be willing to join for 3v3 or 4v4 action. The next multiplayer tip is brought to you by Knight Panzerführer and Rockin' Manta. And the recommendation is to think of your teammates / frontline heals. I stressed this when I did my How to Open as the Americans, but a frontline heal unit, whether it be the ambulance or the Soviet half-track, maybe even the OKW building or the Wehrmacht bunker, can help ensure that your teammate stays at the front line. The longer your teammates at the front line, the longer they are helping you. So by helping them help you, you're helping yourself in the long term. Short, sweet, and to the point. The third recommendation is also brought to you by Knight Panzerführer, and it's to know your units. Gee, why does that sound familiar? But what this is really getting at is understanding the units in the game and understanding what their strengths and weaknesses are. If you have a half-track that's coming at you and you are playing the Wehrmacht and you happen to have 1 star with the MG, knowing about armor-piercing rounds is going to be the difference of losing 2 units to a charging vehicle or killing the vehicle. Understanding the strengths of a shock troop to the weaknesses of a Bolshevik are going to help ensure that when it comes to those engagements, whether you are fighting alongside your allies or fighting against 2 enemies, you're able to make the best out of every situation, no matter what the game throws your way. If you would like further detailed explanations of all the units in the game, I would highly recommend the videos I am posting here, which are direct links to how to play the 5 distinct factions in Code 2 that my brother had made 2 years ago. Some things may be a little out of date, but it should cover your basics. The fourth recommendation, and one I love by PK and 510, this is probably my favorite one of the group, is an Antitanking by the 10-minute mark. It's short, sweet, and to the point. Most armor roughly appears after the 10-minute mark just by the natural accumulation of fuel, especially in a 3v3 or 4v4 game where caches can go down quicker than you'd imagine. Being able to blunt or deflect enemy armor pushes is a great thing. And even if you only have 1 anti-tank gun and your ally doesn't, that can be enough to, well, stop an armored push or even press against an enemy that doesn't suspect your anti-tank gun as of yet. The final recommendation, brought to you by Invisible Knight, is ambulance movement, specifically when it's reconned. Now, the ambulance is a fantastic frontline reinforced point. It can help you, your teammates, it naturally heals the units and can reinforce them back up to their full strength. But nothing quite tickles the Wehrmacht fancy like a Stuka bomb on an ambulance, which is why anytime that you notice a recon pass goes over your ambulance, it may be a pain, but the big recommendation is to move your ambulance, move the major, and relocate someplace else, because the danger of you staying there is a direct strike, or in the long term, artillery. So yeah, ensure that you are moving your ambulance, that way you do not suffer the horrendous losses that can come from not paying attention to enemy reconnaissance, and more importantly, enemy airstrikes. In any case, those are the community recommendations of what to do in Company First 2 multiplayer. Again, I want to give a special shout out to Mateo, Knight Panzerführer, Rockin' Manta, PKN510, and Invisible Knight. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate you guys watching and leaving feedback. But if you guys have something that wasn't covered here, leave it in the comments below, and tune in next week where I'm going to be showcasing how to open the OKW. Took a little longer than I wanted, but it will be coming up, don't you worry. In any case, this is Greyshot151, and I will see all of you next time.
Hey guys, before you go, let me give a special shout out to Aphyria, Folkvard, Joey G240, Balam, Ace, Tony B, Ion, Little Koosh, Samuel McKinney, Seth Coopers, and Jacob Oswald. Thank you guys so much for your awesome support and generosity. If you guys want additional content, check out the links above. Otherwise, I'll see all of you next time.